Now, double bar graph. Double bar graph is a combination of two bar graph together. Okay, suppose regarding one particular class, okay, in the year 2014, we took a data regarding the dislikes and liking towards some particular fruits, that is apple, orange, grapes and banana. So these are the graphs which was made in the year 2014. Okay, so these are the number of students who like apple, these are the number of students who love oranges, these are the number of students who love grapes, and these are the number of students who love banana. This is a reading of 2014. Now, for the same class, very next year, again, when we went there and asked and seen and collected the data, these were the results. That is in the year 2015, just 1 year after. That is, liking of apple is now this much, liking of oranges is this much, the students who like grapes, students who love bananas, these are the data that we have collected and shown by the two bar graphs. Now, what if we have to compare these two graphs together? So this is where double bar graph plays a very important role. So this is the final scenario. Okay, so the first, for apple, we see that two other quantities are given together for apple, and this apple represents the 2014 reading also and 2015 reading also together. Fine. The same goes for orange also. The first rectangle represents the 2014 reading and second bar represents 2015 reading, and similarly it is for grapes also and for banana also. So just by looking to the graph, we can just easily compare that whether the likings has been increased or decreased. So we can easily say the liking has been decreased. You see, all compared to the second graph, compared to the first one, it is smaller. Fine. So it is so easy, you see. Once all the students or anyone who will just see this graph, he will come to the idea that whether the liking towards the fruits has been decreased or has been increased. So for him, the first general view will not require any data. He will just come up to a conclusion that whether he will come up to the conclusion that whether the likings has increased or decreased. How much is the next question? Fine, but he will definitely come to a conclusion, or he will analyze the particular graph very easily and come up to a conclusion that how far the likings has decreased or increased. Okay, so this is what the beauty of the graph is all about. Just by looking to it, we can just analyze a thing very very easily, and these are the very common things that we normally see in the newspaper also, for weather report, for any financial purpose, and even it is a very common view in Arogya Setu also. If you are using it, you will find that one particular graph is given there, a line graph has been used. Okay, so just by looking to the line graph, you can just come to a conclusion, or you can interpret very easily that whether the number of COVID cases are going higher or just coming down, just not just by looking to the data. Okay, just by looking to the graph only. And when you see the graph very carefully and you compare that particular line with the data that is given on the right hand side and the lower side, then it is a different thing. But graphs really is a easy way to show anything, very in a very what in a very easy form, isn't it? Now let's move on to the next part, tally mark. Now this is very very important. Now what is a tally mark? It is a symbolic representation of each entry. Suppose there is many types of entries are there, so how to represent those entries? So for that we use some symbols. Okay, so let us see that frequency distribution table. What is the frequency distribution? This is the frequency distribution table. Okay, now what is the frequency distribution table? How many students love apple? 5. So is the frequency of people who love apple is 5. So in this case we use the word frequency also. Okay, how many students who love oranges? 13. How many students who love grapes? 3. How many students who love mango? 1. Okay, so this is also one of the frequency distribution table. But when we have to use a tally mark to it, then we have to add an additional column to it. This is the thing. Okay, tally mark. So how to represent this 5? You have to learn this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. When it comes 5, then you will cross it. How to represent 13? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This represent 5. Again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This become 10 and more 3. 1, 2, 3. This is how you represent 13. 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, this. Okay, this is very very easy. So this is how we represent any entry by using symbols. So these are the symbols that we are using. Now, and I've given another example. Suppose these are some of the entries been given in the question, and they have asked to draw a frequency distribution table. So whenever you see that in the question, the frequency distribution table thing is used, you have to draw this box where the first box represents the letters, because the letters have been given. If suppose marks is given, then you will write marks. If suppose temperature is given, then you will write temperature. Okay, the first column is entirely related to the question, but the last two one, that is the middle one and the last one, always be same for every cases. Fine, the middle one will always represent the tally mark, and the third one, the last column, will represent the frequency. Now, how many digits are there? There are 3 digits, A, B and C. So A, B and C I have written. Fine. Now, how many ARs are there? So you will just count it. So according to this particular data, okay, there are 6 A's present. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So frequency should be written in numerical form. B, how many B are there? 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7. C, how many 7 C are there? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 in numerical form. This is the total representation of frequency distribution table. Okay. So that's it for today. This was an introduction, and from tomorrow onwards we'll do the first exercise sum. Okay, so whatever has been taught today, please go through it very properly and try to understand it and get prepared for tomorrow, because from tomorrow we'll start with the exercises sum. Okay, take care and God bless.